Right now, someone close to you is about 5 years away from being rich. And I promise it's not who you think. It's not the guy who just leased a shiny new truck. It's not your cousin posting vacation pics every other week. It's probably the quiet one. The one driving a car with a dent nobody's fixed, ordering water while everyone else gets cocktails, and somehow never seeming stressed about money. Here's the strange part. Most of us have been trained to read wealth signals completely backwards. We see spending and assume success. We see restraint and assume struggle. It's almost always the opposite. This isn't a theory. It comes from the largest millionaire study ever done in America. Over 10,000 people surveyed by Ramsey Solutions. And the results blew up almost everything we assume about rich people. Nearly 80% inherited nothing. A third never once earned six figures in a single year. The most common jobs weren't finance bros or tech founders. They were teachers, engineers, accountants, regular office managers. Most went to normal public colleges, not fancy ones. Ordinary income, ordinary background, extraordinary results. Which means wealth isn't loud. It's built in habits so quiet, the people standing next to them never notice. Today, I'm walking you through 13 of those habits. Keep a mental tally as we go, because once you see them, you'll start spotting them everywhere. In your coworkers, your family, maybe even yourself. Number 1, they drive the car nobody envies. The future millionaire in your office is parked in the back row, in a paid-off car with high mileage and zero shine. Meanwhile, the average new car payment in America right now is over $700 a month, often for almost 6 years straight. Take someone like Marcus, a mid-level accountant. His coworkers joke about his beat-up sedan. What they don't see is that he's investing that car payment instead. At 8% growth, $700 a month becomes over $56,000 in 5 years. And past $1 million if left alone for 30. That embarrassing car might be the most profitable financial decision in the room. Number 2, they know their numbers without blinking. Ask most people what they spent on takeout last month, and you'll get a shrug. Ask a future millionaire, and they'll be accurate within $20. That's not obsession. That's awareness. People who check their net worth regularly treat their finances like a business. And businesses that watch their numbers survive longer. Once you actually see where your money leaks, forgotten subscriptions, impulse orders, cutting them stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like finding money on the sidewalk. Number 3, their savings move before they even see them. On payday, money quietly disappears into retirement accounts, investment accounts, savings, all before it ever touches their everyday spending account. It's automatic. So there's no negotiating with themselves in a weak moment. Take Priya, a nurse who set up an automatic $600 transfer at 26. She hasn't made an active decision to save in years. The system just runs. 5 years later, that single setup is worth close to $45,000. Willpower fails. Automation doesn't. Number 4, they obsess over the gap, not the paycheck. Someone earning $200,000 and spending all of it is standing still in nicer shoes. Someone earning $55,000 and living on $40 is quietly building momentum. The quietly wealthy protect that gap fiercely. Smaller apartments, home-cooked meals, a housing budget kept well under what a lender would approve. None of it is Instagram-worthy. That's exactly the point. You can't photograph money that never left someone's account. Number 5. They buy things that pay them back. Every dollar spent either loses value or creates more value. The future wealthy funnel money into index funds, retirement accounts, small, consistent investments, the most unglamorous tools in finance. 80% of millionaires build their fortune mainly through boring workplace retirement plans. Not crypto, not a lucky startup. Just steady, repeated investing. Meanwhile, someone who looks rich might be financing a leased car and a wardrobe that loses value every season. A decade later, One person owns assets, the other owns receipts. Number 6, raises vanish the moment they arrive. When the quietly wealthy get a raise, their lifestyle doesn't move. Take Elena, promoted with a $5,000 bump. Instead of upgrading her apartment, she redirected that entire raise into investments. Over 5 years, that one decision alone grows to nearly $15,000 and hundreds of thousands over a career. Compare that to the common pattern, where every raise gets swallowed within weeks by new habits and bigger bills. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the quiet reason so many high earners never actually build wealth. The winners don't out-earn everyone. They simply refuse to let spending chase income. Number 7, their emergency fund is boring and fully loaded. Nearly a quarter of Americans have zero savings for emergencies. The future wealthy keep 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in a high-yield account, earning real interest instead of nearly none. When a car breaks down or a job disappears, they absorb the hit and keep investing without missing a beat. Number 8, they treat high-interest debt like an emergency. Paying off a credit card charging over 20% interest is essentially a guaranteed 20% return, better than almost any investment. So the quietly wealthy attack it aggressively, often eating simple meals and skipping trips for a stretch. Once it's gone, every dollar that used to feed a bank starts feeding their future instead. If this is resonating, hit subscribe. Every week, we break down exactly how ordinary paychecks quietly become real wealth. Number 9, they're immune to looking broke. This is the real psychological trick. Most millionaires live in normal homes, wear normal clothes, drive normal cars, while people who look wealthy often have surprisingly little saved. The quietly wealthy simply opted out of the comparison game. A coworker's raised eyebrow at an old phone doesn't move them because they're measuring themselves against a spreadsheet, not an audience. Number 10, they invest in their own skills. When the quiet ones do spend, it's often on courses, certifications, or tools that increase what they can earn. A $300 certification that leads to a raise pays for itself instantly and keeps paying every year after. Growing your income is buying a bigger shovel, while everyone else buys nicer dirt. Number 11, they think in 5-year chunks, not paydays. Someone struggling with money is thinking about Friday. A future millionaire is thinking about 2031. The first $100,000 is brutal and slow, mostly discipline, barely any growth. But left alone afterward, that same $100,000 can grow to over $500,000 within 25 years without adding another cent. That's why market crashes don't scare them. A downturn just means their automatic investments buy more, cheaper.
Number 12, they say no without apologizing. Every week brings another expensive invitation: a birthday dinner, a bachelor trip, a wedding 2 states away. The quietly wealthy have mastered the warm, guilt-free no. They suggest the potluck instead of the tasting menu, the hike instead of the resort. It's not really about the money saved on one event. It's proof that their spending follows their plan, not everyone else's calendar. Number 13, they already started and they never stopped. This is the quiet engine behind everything else. They opened the account with almost nothing. They kept contributing through crashes, layoffs, and scary headlines. Consistency beat perfection every time. A small amount invested monthly for years builds the one trait that matters most: the ability to keep a promise to your future self when nobody's watching. So think back to that person you know, the old car, the simple lunch, the calm, no thanks. Everything you were taught to see as falling behind might actually be the opposite. Someone quietly building a life most people around them will never reach. None of these 13 habits require luck, inheritance, or a huge salary. They just require small decisions,
Repeat it until the math starts working in your favor. If you counted 8 or more just now, you're further ahead than your bank account shows. If you counted 3 or fewer, you just got the exact blueprint the wealthy have been quietly following all along. If this changed how you think about money even a little, subscribe, because next week we're breaking down exactly how these habits stack together to build real wealth from an ordinary paycheck. And before you go, tell me in the comments which one of these 13 hit closest to home. Someone reading it might be exactly 5 years behind you,